Hello and welcome to my review of the much-anticipated film Tron Legacy, starring Jeff Bridges and Olivia Wilde. Tron Legacy centers on Sam Flynn, the son of Kevin Flynn from the first one. Sam is kind of a recluse after his dad, disappeared in the last film because he disappeared into the digital world of the grid. Sam stumbles upon the grid, enters it, and finds out that his dad is here because an alternative program that he created called Clue, who's like an evil version of Jeff Bridges. So there's two Jeff Bridgeses in this film. Clue has taken over, and it's very hard to explain, but it's basically a battle against Clue as Sam tries to get his father out of this digital world. But believe me, it does get a little more complicated than that. Now, this is a film where I really had no idea what to expect. I wasn't a fan of the first one. In fact, I couldn't even make it through. It was just such a cheesy, corny movie. The story kind of confused me, so I just couldn't make it through it. But I figured because this one was a whole new take on Tron, I'd go see it and make my own judgments. And surprisingly, I'm actually really happy I did. I really enjoyed Tron Legacy. First off, obviously the first and best thing about this movie is the visuals. This is a gorgeous movie. The visual effects look fantastic. The digital look just looks great. The dark color palette is awesome. The action scenes are great. It's just a visually stunning movie all around. It's a great modernized look on the original Tron, and it captures the essence of what was in that original film from what I saw, while still keeping it very modern and very cool. And unlike some people, I actually really enjoyed the story in this film, and obviously visuals don't make a whole movie. What I liked about it is that Tron Legacy knows exactly what it is. It's a sci-fi movie that's based on a campy original film. This film takes anything that you want to see in a movie called Tron and just puts it in the story. It's a cool sci-fi story. It's not anything amazing, but for once, a movie isn't truncated by trying to appeal to all the mainstream audiences. It's just a solid sci-fi story that isn't afraid to be really sci-fi-ish. Not only did I appreciate that, there actually were some good human qualities in here. Sam and Kevin Flynn have a really nice dynamic, and there's a really good father-son theme echoing through this. Performances are a bit of a mixed bag. Our lead is Garrett Hetland, who I've never seen before, and he's a good straight man, but he's not the best at conveying other emotions besides pure indifference. There are some scenes where he was just like, "Dad, no." Kind of a bland performance overall. Olivia Wilde, kind of the same situation, but a little better. But who I thought was really good in this film was Jeff Bridges, obviously. Jeff Bridges is a fantastic actor. In this film, he really kind of gets a challenge because he has to play two characters. He has to play the good Kevin Flynn, and he has to play the evil Clue. And I thought he pulled both off really well. Him as Kevin Flynn is the only character in the movie with real humanity, and I thought they handled that really well. But the character of Clue, I think they could have done more with. Jeff Bridges did a good job of playing the character that was written, but I do think the character was a little underwritten, because I do think they could have gone into the themes of duality and how he was and how Clue was basically an evil representation of Kevin Flynn, and I think they could have gone a little more in the direction also of going the conflict between order and chaos, because there's definitely a little plot opportunity there. But I thought his portrayal of Clue was good, but he was definitely a bit of an underwritten villain. But what really pulls you into this movie is the action. The action in this movie is great for the most part. A tad repetitive in some scenes, but there are some really cool scenes in here. There's the light cycle chase, there's this battle. Everything is just so hyper-stylized, really well directed, really well filmed, and it's a nice showing of visual effects, and there's definitely a good amount of moments where you go, wow, that was cool. Overall, Tron Legacy is definitely better than I expected it to be. I expected it to be a complete failure, and I actually found that I was really enjoying myself through all of it. I give Tron a solid 3 stars out of 4. If you're into sci-fi, definitely go check it out. I wouldn't recommend it as much to people who just like a normal film, but for those sci-fi fans, I definitely say that this is a worthy film. 3 stars out of 4, definitely go check this out. And if you can, definitely check it out in IMAX 3D. I definitely think it's worth a little bit extra money.